Hello students, welcome to the EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Rashmi Sharma, Head of the Department OB and HR, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Delhi. Today we will learn the module Managing Virtual Teams. This module is from the paper Contemporary Issues in HRM and Future Trends. The learning outcomes of this module would be Introduction to the concept of virtual team, tips for managing the virtual teams, strategies to improve the functioning of virtual team, the importance of communication in virtual team, overcoming the hurdles and challenges, and what is the role of a leader in managing a virtual team. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand the concept of a virtual team, learn the tips for managing virtual teams, learn strategies to improve the virtual team communication, and understand the importance of the role of a leader in a virtual team. A virtual team is also known as a remote team or a geographically dispersed team. It refers to a team of individuals who work together but from different geographic locations and depend on communication technology such as email, video or voice conferencing service in order to synergize or collaborate. The tips for managing virtual teams include the first tip, be available. Working virtually can be very isolating for your team. Do not make the team members feel you are not available. Be in a regular contact to talk not just about the day-to-day duties but also go beyond their general queries about their day, mood and social life. Tip number 2. Organize regular meetings with the entire team. This should be done through IT technology such as video conferencing, social media or Skype, and sometimes face-to-face meeting. The company should not focus on the cost. It's a cost well spent on building relationships and thus an investment. The third tip in managing a virtual teams involves having informal discussions. Encourage people to have informal conversations because human beings are social animals and people tend to assume or judge the worst if they really do not know what others are up to. Therefore, encourage people to have unstructured, informal discussion with each other. Tip 4 refers to rotation. In order to further break down the barriers between the team members, try to ensure at least one team member spends a short period of time in some other location. Of course, the consensus surely matters in this case, but if you sensitize your team members about this policy of yours, they would be receptive in future as well. Team bonding is the fifth tip. Organize creative team bonding activities. For example, after your team has achieved a particular goal, you can organize a virtual reward ceremony, send them a small gift to all the members and make everyone open it at the same time during a video call. The reactions would be priceless. The sixth tip is understanding the value and importance of time zones and managing it efficiently. Since the teams are spread all across the world, you may have a very short time span to meet some members or the entire team. You must change the time for meetings on a weekly basis to make sure that one member is not always waking up too early for the meetings or the other is not going to bed too late at night. Tip 7 is encouraging cultural sensitivity. It's important to be aware of the cultural differences in your team and promote cross-cultural training for all the team members. Being culturally aware in a virtual environment where people are based around the world is even more important than in face-to-face settings. Tip 8 is about socializing with pre-existing teams. There should be a socializing process with the pre-existing teams as well. If there is a strong pre-existing sub-team where everybody knows each other and works excellently together, then these teams may create even more barriers if they begin working virtually with other unfamiliar team members. So therefore, you should encourage socializing those members with their pre-existing team members. Tip 9 is recruiting the people with similar experience. While recruiting, look for people who have worked internationally and those who share the previous experiences and similarities. Tip 10 is managing expectations. There might be some expectations that the team member might have, for example, moving to headquarters at some stage in life. You must understand those expectations. How do you motivate this particular team? What happens if the team goes well and positive? You need to deal with this along with HR so that you know from the beginning what exactly is in store for them or what you can offer. Let's understand some strategies to improve the virtual team communications. Creating a virtual personality and presence by assessing your strengths and weakness is paramount strategy if you really wish to improve the virtual team communications. Develop a communications management plan and team operating agreements. You must go easy at times to speed up. Take the time up front to understand all the environments and cultures you are working on and working with. Select appropriate technologies and communication medium for the team interaction. You must look out for places where the teams can look forward to meeting for an unplanned interaction. Must run effective virtual team meetings by creating, fostering and forcing at times the engagement and interactions frequently. There are several factors that leave the virtual teams confused and demotivated. One of the biggest reasons why the virtual teams fail is because they do not compensate the fact that team members are not working in the same building or office. In a virtual environment, you need to create certain opportunities for these team members to just chat either formally or informally. Choosing the right communication style and medium is paramount when you have to overcome the challenges in managing the virtual teams. Email must be used for quick interactions. You can replace most email communication with a project management system. Chat programs can be Skype or Google Hangouts, which are very good for instant messaging and video conferencing. It helps to create a team chat environment also. Phone calls or video chat through different platforms. Some types of communication should only be handled over the phone and not through video chat. Any kind of emotional issue such as the performance related problem should only be handled over the phone and not through video chat. Creating a short video is very easy and simple if you use YouTube using your webcam or using a screen capture tool such as Jing. In an office environment, we can see who is coming in every day even when we are not tracking the attendance. In a completely virtual environment, it can be difficult to understand exactly what is going on with and how long each person has worked and what they are exactly working on. There is a minority of people who are self-motivated enough that they do not need any tracking of attendance or the number of hours put in for work. However, there is a large majority of people who still require some amount of discipline even when working at home. Having and maintaining the non-work related communication is important. You must share the future vision of the company with your virtual team. You must keep the team informed about how the company is doing. People like to know what's happening in the other divisions of the company and how they themselves fit in or are contributing to the larger picture. You must get everyone in the team involved in important events and projects and ensure that during their birthdays or special occasions, you send them gifts or a complimentary card. The leader has an important role to play when he or she has to manage a team that is geographically dispersed. Excellent communication skills are paramount and most essential attribute for a virtual team leader who doesn't have the luxury of a face-to-face communication but instead have to rely more on the text or voice-only communication. Some tips for leaders includes communicating regularly and frequently, but do not overload your team with information. Ensure that there is time for regular one-to-one communication with the individual team members as well as the entire group through emails and meetings. Paraphrase and summarize when you are giving complicated instructions and ensure that you check back that you have been understood. Particularly with the new team members, be wary of using a jargon or an acronym that they might not understand. Thus, in this module, we have learned that virtual team working is becoming increasingly common, yet many teams struggle to perform effectively. A virtual team is also known as a remote team or a geographically dispersed team. Virtual teams depend on virtual communication technology that has to be harnessed effectively. Thank you.